Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money.
Would you call the police on your son if you found $200,000 in his room? That's our topic today. Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. A video is going viral of a mother who found $200,000 in her teenage son's room. When she confronted him, he said he needed to make money and was doing what he had to do. From the conversation, it's unclear if he might be involved in something illegal. The mother said she was confiscating the money and calling the police. The question now is, would you call the police on your child? This story opens a bigger conversation about how we protect our boys from being pulled into the streets, how financial pressure affects young Black men, and what real parenting looks like when survival and safety collide. Today, we have the best queens and king on the planet in the room. We have Shalaye, CEO of Vital Source Realty, Jermaine, Fletcher, entrepreneur extraordinaire, Dr. Alicia, therapist, professor, couples coach, Nomalanga, M3, marriage, motherhood, and money. And I am your host, Dr. LaNee Javet. Let's get into this conversation. Let's see, I'm going to start with Dr. Alicia because like Dr. Alicia and myself, we have sons, older sons. I'm not sure. Do you have a son, Nomalanga? You have a son? Okay. So my son is 25. I think Alicia's son is at least 18.
22.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Mine's almost 17.
17. Okay. So Dr. Alicia, let's say you walk into Cousin's room and you find $200,000. What you doing?
Oh my God. I don't know if I would call the police right away. I think I would more likely connect because I'm his mother, but I'm also a therapist. So I would start asking questions. I wouldn't start with punishment. I'd be curious, where did this money come from? What's beneath all of this? I think, my 22-year-old son holding that kind of money, what's happening? And what is he trying to communicate that he feels like he needs to have this particular money? So I would not necessarily right off the bat just punish him and turn him in and call the police. I would ask a whole lot of questions, and I wouldn't call the police. I would have him get into his head and get him to do the right thing. Now it could be he won the lottery and we had some good money and he cashed in. So you never know. I mean, to immediately just go and run and call the police, I think that would be a little too disruptive to the attachment. You know, your attachment with your parents is so important in your development. So I would try to connect first before I try to condemn and punish someone.
Okay, I like that. What about you, Nomalanga? What would you do if you came across $200,000 in your son's room?
I know what I'm not going to do is call the police on my son no matter what he does. I don't care what he did. The police is not an option. I'm going to take it away from my own son because he's such a quiet boy, and say just in general, if you were to find money in a young man or boy's room, I think you really need to ask some questions. I think if there's been any dishonesty, you have to get to the point where you see him, or you help him see that he has to correct whatever he did. And that money has to go back if it was gained through unscrupulous means. So keeping it is not an option if it was not honestly earned. But there's no scenario ever in the world on the planet on which I would call the police on my son. Never.
All right, Shalaye, you have daughters. So let's say you walked into your daughter's room, because girls can get $200,000, and it could be quasi legit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They could make
Right.
that $200,000. You know what I'm saying? If you walk into your daughter's room, you found $200,000. What are you doing? What are you saying?
Well, first of all, I would be very scared. I would be very, very scared. Like, first of all, where did you get the $200? That's a lot of money. How long have you been amassing this amount of money? Number one, I would not post any video on the internet. I mean, something about that feels really, really weird to me, but definitely would be concerned. And I would start asking questions. My daughter can see in my face when it's about to go left. So I would try to calm myself down and then ask her the questions and really get her to trust me in the moment. And threatening to call the police is not going to get your child to trust you in the moment. And police just equals problems and punishment. Not to mention that another part of this $200,000 means that they may be into something, and that could be dangerous, putting a target on your back. So definitely wouldn't post a video, wouldn't call the police, ask questions, and really try to get to the bottom of where it came from.
All right, I like that. Jermaine, as a man, as a father, do you have kids? Do you have a son?
Yes, I have two daughters. I have a 25-year-old daughter and a 21-year-old daughter. So I don't
so you have the daughters. Okay, so same question to you. As a father, you walk in, you find $200,000 cash money in your daughter's room. What are you doing, or what are you saying?
Oh, first of all, I definitely wouldn't call the police. I would try to get to the root of the issue and try to build a rapport and honesty and trust. Where did your money come from? How did you get it? And what is your plans moving forward? So if your plans was, if it was illegal and you planned on continue to do that, we're going to go ahead and put a halt to that. I'm going to go get help. I'm going to get counseling, and I'm going to reverse the mindset of why I'm doing it legally. And then what I'm going to do there is also say, okay, we're going to turn this into a business venture. Now, what are your goals? But also, a portion of it is going to go to the nonprofit to help others. Even though you got it a legal way, we're going to give back to the ones that's less fortunate and the ones that might be in your situation that are coming forward. So we're going to turn this negative to a positive, and then we're going to gain trust. And I'm going to be the leader to show her how to get to financial freedom in a positive and legal way.
All right, so we're gonna watch the video, and then I want to talk about it a little bit more, because I like where you were going. Then I was like, but what if this is illegal? What if they got this money illegally and they gotta break his legs? But we're not gonna have the conversation yet. But let's talk about that. Let's go to the video first. I'm gonna come back and keep this conversation going.
I want to know, why am I cleaning your room and I'm finding money like this?
You can't
I just need to know, because I give you whatever you want. What did you have this year?
It's not enough, though.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to figure it out.
You didn't even try to.
I gotta get outside. I'm outside every day. I'm not going to school.
I didn't even want to fight it.
I'm
trying to get your fucking closet together. Look what I'm
finding. My life. I'm not going to school. I'm not doing
nothing.
I'm not doing nothing at all.
Where did you get it from? Where did you get the money from?
I'm doing a good job running the streets.
It's not a good job.
I don't like school. You can't make me go to school. Ain't no money at school. Every dollar I ever made was outside.
So you ain't been at school?
No. Everything I made was outside. Ain't no money in school.
I ain't gonna put this in I'll put it in the CD.
No.
It'll be sitting there waiting to collect the interest from
No, I don't got time for that shit.
I don't care.
Bro.
You ain't gotta return it. We ain't gonna fight over it. We ain't gonna do none of that.
They don't come looking for me if I don't give them half of their bread, man. It's not even mine.
Okay, well, baby, we'll move. This is going into a certificate deposit. It's going into a certificate. You gonna in about 10 to 15 years, you're gonna thank me for doing that.
Nobody gonna be safe.
So prior to watching the video, we had talked about, is this real? Is it a skit? First of all, I wanted to watch it before I gave my commentary on whether or not I thought it was a skit or not. Initially, because she was kind of protecting his face and the angle and whatnot, I felt like it was not a skit. I kind of felt like it might be real, but then the acting was bad. So I just don't know if it's real or not real. So we don't have to go into that specific direction of whether it's real or not. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, it is real. Let's say that a mother really does walk into a room, or a parent does really walk into their child's room and find $200,000 that you do not know how they got it. And let's say it was illegal, which means if this money does not get back to that person, something's about to happen, right? So let's say that that's the course, now that we've actually seen the video. Okay, I'm gonna start with Jermaine, because that's where I left off, and he talked about investing this money, but it's not your child's real money. Now what do you do?
Okay, so now if I get the confession or if I get the feeling that the child has got it illegal, so now what I will try to do, especially if I'm in the community where we have the youth counselors that's really in the streets, or the gang counselors, and they work with people that's in gangs in the streets, and there's also with the drug dealers. And I try to reach out to them and set up a meeting for my child to go sit down with these mentors, and then have these mentors get it out of them to who is your supplier, where you getting this from, where you're doing this illegal things from, and then to get my child to be able to try to reverse it. So now, once I find out who is from and where they getting it from, if there's any debt owed, we want to pay off the debt first. Make sure you pay off the debt and make sure that my child will be in good standings. And I also want to have a meeting with the person that my kid is out there dealing with and let them know that as me as a father, I'm not allowing this. So this is the warning, and this is going to be the way that this child is not part of this community. It's not part of this crime, this criminal organization. So how do we move forward before we can have peace and understanding on both sides? You guys can continue to do what you do, but I need my child out of that situation. And so from that point on, I think we're just going to counseling, working with the community, and also being there with my child and understand that, okay, I have to find other alternatives for you to be successful. Because if you was able to create a mindset to go out there and earn that type of funds and something that dangerous, if you turn that to a positive, what is inside you? So let's work on that. And if I have to relocate you, tap into the family out of state to move you there, give you a second chance to go to a place where you have to get a fresh start and you don't know anybody there, that's what I'm gonna have to do. So I'm gonna have to use all resources on hand, because before it gets too far out of hand, and next thing you know, it's nothing that we can do as parents.
Okay, that's good. Anybody else want to add to that? Shalaye, what do you think?
I agree with everything that he just said. One thing would be that stood out is the debt portion, because that's what I'm thinking. If you got 200,000, usually the way that works is that 200,000 is not all yours. You've got to go either buy more product to sell more, to pay off a debt or whatever. So it's about getting to the bottom of what that is. And it's a very potentially very dangerous situation. And it's like, it's hard. Does it make sense to get the police involved at a certain point? It depends on how deep the child is into whatever is going on, because it may not be something that a parent can deal with on their own without getting law enforcement involved. There are just a lot of variables.
From a safety perspective, can you get out of this situation safely with your child without getting the law involved? That brings a different perspective. Nomalanga, I saw you shake your head a little bit on that one. What's your answer now? Let's say it's something that's illegal, and what do you do with your child?
I'm getting the impression that this is a scenario where it's a single mother with a son who somehow thinks he has to step up and provide somehow, because he kept saying a lot of things like it's not enough and I got to do what I got to do. I've been on the streets and all this other stuff. So in that scenario, I think you have to include some men. I think it was already mentioned, like reach out into the community and get some resources so that you can kind of reverse the situation and get out of it. And then after that, those men have to stay in his life to kind of get him out of the streets and into the straight and narrow. If it's a two-parent household, then obviously it's more the father's problem for him to deal with his son and how his son strayed. And we just support him through the process of getting his son back on track, or our son back on track.
Okay. Dr. Alicia, there's why would I give them our money? We need our money. We need for ourselves or my child. What would you say to that? Like, so you're a therapist, right? You're a mom, multiple children, and you most likely you're going to come at it from the psychological route. There's legalities now, right? What are you saying to this kid? Like, I know you're not saying this is our money. We need this, right? What would you say?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean, I love Jermaine's response, because he's talking about calling on community. I cannot raise my kids by myself. I'm calling their daddy. I'm calling boys. I'm calling my brother. I'm calling all the men. Everybody come together. I'm not going to just not going to be me and my child making decisions. So I would call on community, which is, I think is what Jermaine was referring to, is getting people to come in. Let's all sit down. I like this. This is like, let's have a conversation, at least try to talk about it and have a conversation and get down to the bottom of it. What do we need to call the police for right now? We don't know, what's happening. And this video that you showed, I did not see a lot of listening. They were talking over each other. The mom was asking questions, but not listening to what her child was actually saying. Let's just assume it was a real scenario. She was interested in recording and just being really emotional, when really what I think needed to happen was turn the phones off, sit down and have a nice calm conversation about what's going on without making this little boy feel like he needs to defend himself, or this grown man, however old he is. So this is where I'm seeing the missed pieces. Like, who are you? You haven't even sat down and talked to your child, and you're already recording. You're putting it up on the internet, and you're already calling the police. Where's the connection? And, there's an issue there. That child has issues, and it comes from not having a supportive community around him. You're muted.
Sorry. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to dig a little bit deeper into that, Alicia. Let's go to commercial. We'll be right back.
Woo! It's a good show right here. But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to FlyNubianMoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to FlyNubianMoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow with FlyNubianMoney.com.
With FlyNubianMoney.com. Okay, so we don't know the age of this young man in this video, right? But we did hear her say, "You're not going to school." You don't know. You don't know if that young man is going to school. Like, what level? I don't want to say it that way. I was going to ask what level of responsibility of this relies on the parent, but let me ask it a different way. Do you think that the mother reacted out of fear, anger, maybe responsibility or guilt, right? How do you not know if your child is going to school? How do you not know how your child is running in these streets collecting $200,000? And I don't want to make it sound judgy, but at least up to high school, you should at least know if your child's going to school. At a minimum, just know that. Now, I say that to say this. I flunked out of 9th grade because I was not going to school. And my mom didn't find out until the school called her. And they was like, "Ma'am, you keep writing her letters every day." And my mom was like, "I'm not writing her letters every day." And they was like, "Well, Javet Bowen is signing them." And my mom was like, "That's her. She writing her own letters." Mm-hmm. I'm in here writing these letters to the school like she ain't going to be in school today. Come to find out, at the end of my 9th grade, I didn't have enough credits, and I did not. They was like, "No, she can't come back." So yeah, sometimes parents don't know. So right. I don't want to be judgy, like, how she not know, because, and these kids is way smarter. You just got to get home and answer the phone when the school call, right? Recording call, and then the parent don't know. So without being judgy, is her reaction. I'll give this one to you, Dr. Alicia. What do you think? And then I'm gonna give it to some of you guys too. But what do you think? Do you think it's the reaction is guilt? Is it fear? Is it anger?
Oh, it's probably all of that. And it's all coming to head. It's been brewing for a while. First of all, why are you cleaning your child's room? Hello.
Your teenagers, your big teenagers' room
Your
too.
big teenager's room. He's big enough. He needs to clean his own room. So it tells you that we need household rules. We need expectations. All healthy relationships have boundaries. All healthy relationships have expectations. Why is that not spelled out? So and let's not put it all on the mom. What's going on that this household is not being run efficiently? What mother cleans up somebody's room? You're not supposed, you can clean it with them, show them how to do it, but something's going on where things are kind of misaligned. Where are the household chores? There's not enough structure in that house for whatever reason. And, we put a lot on mamas. Mamas are busy working, are busy doing things. Dr. LaNee, thank you for sharing your story. I bet your mom was busy. was busy working. You probably have brothers and sisters, and there's multiple people that you have to be responsible for. And it's hard to stay connected and stay in tune with what's happening. This is a signal. Something's missing in that household. Something is not organized that need to be organized. There's not enough connection in this household that needs to be there. And so if you can't find it at home, you're going to find it outside. And maybe you're connecting with some people and some entities that's not helpful for you. But maybe, Dr. LaNee, wherever you were going, instead of going to high school to class, it was serving a purpose for you emotionally. It was serving, and you needed to have a connection somewhere that you were not getting in the school, maybe not getting in the home, whatever it is, but it served its purpose for you, which is why you did it. And so the thing is that do we ever stop and say, let's say why and how this stuff is going on before you start judging and condemning. So this is a really interesting conversation because all of us need to figure out, let's get our households in order.
I mean, to your point, I think that I don't think it's a son thing. I think it's a youth thing because I'm a girl and I was running the streets. But for me, I've talked about my story. Looking for love in all the wrong places. Young, I'm literally ditching school to go to this boy's house and do stuff every day, all the day. Like that's literally it. Which is feeding into my insecurities and my downward spiral and
closeness,
promiscuity.
It was the closeness and the intimacy that you needed in that moment.
I was a lost soul.
Yeah.
Is what I was at that time. But let me take this to Jermaine. Jermaine, question for you. As we're having this conversation, somebody mentioned it a little bit earlier. Where is the dad, right? What role does fatherhood and mentorship play in preventing something like this? Should a father have been having that conversation, or a male figure maybe been having that conversation? Or does the parent who approaches the child, does that matter?
That's great that you asked that, because as Dr. Alicia was speaking, I was going to piggyback on that in the connection, right? And like you said before, that your mother didn't know you was writing the letters and being absent, right? So it goes back again to having both parents in the household. Us as men, if we can be present, even if we're not with the mother or the household, but if we can be present, if we can make that visit 2 or 3 times per week and being there for that son and picking him up and taking him practice and keeping him active, that son will have somebody to lean on, because now he sees as somebody that looks like him, that is him, and he have this conversation. So as a father, especially if it's a positive father, now the father is not positive and he's having his own struggles, then you kind of like want to keep the father away a little bit more. So yes, I definitely think that having control of your household and spending time with them teenagers is very crucial, because for myself, I was in between 2 households. You know, my mother got remarried, I had a stepfather, my father got remarried, I had a stepmother, so I never fit in. So the streets is where I kind of like found my connection. So I was out hustling, getting money, but I had nobody to answer to. Mm. All my mother wants to do, did I go to school, did I do my chores, but never understood what I was thinking in my mind, why I was doing what I was doing, why I was with the people I was with, until I got caught, until she, like same thing, she found a few $1,000s in my closet, But instead of calling the police, she said, I'm just going to keep this. I was like 14, 15 years old. And this is when you get your license, we're going to buy a car with this. And I just had to explain to her, but I lied to her. I told her I was shooting dice. I wanted gambling and betting. Still, which is wrong, but I wasn't honest and told her I was selling drugs, but she knew because of the habits and the way I was moving. And so I just think of being present and being there, like the mother is supposed to be there in the household. So when the child gets there or pick them up and the mother's there, you kind of control the time, you know what I mean? And also keep them active in different activities and being busy. That boy is, after you get off practice, he's not gonna have enough time to go try to figure out something to make it. He's gonna want to eat, do his homework, and go to sleep. Because after a full day of school and activities, he's not gonna have the energy and time to try to even think about making some money. So I just think of having the father involved or uncle or another man involved and being present in that young man's life, you can kind of stir him in the right direction. And before he even jump off the cliff to go in that direction and start selling drugs or being around the people or being curious, he'll know the pros and cons of it.
Okay, Shalaye, thank you, Jermaine. I think that was good. I think we got to take a commercial. And when we come back, Shalaye, I got a question for you when we come back from this commercial.
I know you're busy, you got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming.
So just tell me where the money coming from.
My bread, I be doing stuff outside, bro.
Is it from the PPP loans? Tell me right now, because if it is, I knew you did the PPP loans. Because why was there so many PPP loans on my address?
Give me my money. What is you
Ain't
doing?
no give me your money. This is going to the police. They're not finna charge me. They're not finna charge me for this.
Not pop. It's real deal, man.
I
got a lot of stuff going on in the streets. Give me my bread, bro.
And no, because I believe this is that PPP loan money. And I asked you, why was there so many different names under my address? And I'm thinking people using my address, and it was you.
Give me my money so I can go, so I can get the fuck on.
No,
man.
you're not going nowhere. This money is being turned into the police because I'd be damned if my name, I'd be damned if my name.
Call the police, we all gonna go to jail, bro.
Who is we all? Because I didn't know you had this money. You lied to me.
Everybody going to fucking jail.
That's exactly why I got this on video. Because this is used to prove my innocence.
Oh my fuck.
Don't even worry about it.
You just make everything.
I don't give a hell what I make anything. I'm tired of this. I want to know where this money came from. I'm cleaning your room, and I want to know where this money came from.
There's so much to unpack in this video. I mean, my goodness. Dr. Alicia, I'm going to go to you first, right? So you watching this play out as a therapist, what are your initial thoughts?
There's still no real talking. Is she saying that he took out multiple PPP loans in her name? And
no, she was saying that multiple names, address information, letters, whatever the case might be, were coming to her house. And it sounded like she was saying, why are all these, who are all these names that are coming to my house? And now she's of the mindset that he could have potentially, allegedly, fraud, doing PPP loans in other people's names.
Oh, that's big time consequences for that. So she is, so maybe she's thinking, I don't want to go to jail for your crime. So maybe she's thinking, I'm recording this because you lied to me. So she feels deceived, or she is being deceived. And she's like, no, we have to make this right. I'm not going to cover for you at this point, because then I'm going to jail, and I ain't going to jail for your wrongdoing. So, maybe she's saying you made your bed and you need to lie in it. I'm not certain I would help this along, but this is pretty interesting. Yet and still, we did not witness a discussion. We did not witness a conversation. We witnessed two people who were highly volatile and very reactive to each other, yelling and arguing. That's not talking. That's not having a conversation, a nice, calm conversation. That's what they needed to do. So, yeah.
Shalaye, what do you think about a mother or a parent who finds money, automatically assuming that it's illegal, right? Because to Dr. Alicia's point, she has asked, where did this come from? But she hasn't stopped talking to let the answer come through, other than what we can kind of hear, right? It belongs to somebody else. They're going to hurt us. I got to pay. But oftentimes when we find or we hear or we see these things, we automatically assume it's something bad. Where'd you get this from? You did. Yeah. She didn't say, oh my God, we won the lottery. She didn't say, you out here making good, but you playing ball, you shooting dice. I think Jermaine said, like, it was automatically, negative effect. What do you think?
I think that she was on the right track in her thinking. If it was not negative or illegal or something that he got from doing something legit, he would have said that. I think that that's probably the first thing that he would have said. And then the PPP loan thing. So I got a PPP loan. You have to have a legit business to get a PPP loan. So is she saying that the PPP thing, are you committing fraud, which was hard to do with the PPP loans because they checked all your documents and everything like that? Does he have a business? Does he have a legit business that he could have? I mean, he looked like in 2020, he was about 14 years old. So I'm not sure what to make of that scene. Yes, no talking back and forth, no conversation really going on. But I think that we can assume that he did get that amount of money in some unscrupulous ways.
Yeah, because so to add to that PPP, lots of folks was out here scamming and scheming and getting PPP.
But they caught up with him real quick, because I remember
in the moment. So let's hypothetically speaking, let's say he is entwined with some illegal folks doing illegal things. Right. He himself might not have done anything per se. They could have just used his name, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't mean that he per se did something outside of, hey, I can make some quick money, let him use my name, send some stuff to my address. And then if that's the case, I do understand why she'd be like, okay, we got to call someone, because yes, if that's fraud and he's a minor and he's in her house, she's going to go to jail, or they're going to try to implicate her, or she's going to be an accessory. So that's a hard situation to be in. She may not be what I had a note earlier about the way that these videos come off and how she's coming at him. It seems like her brand of discipline is probably shame. And maybe that's why she's recording it and stuff like that, which that's a whole other conversation. But I think that at the core of it, if this is real, she's probably scared, and she probably just doesn't know what to do. There's an element of, yeah, we can go and we can get the mentors and we can talk about it. But if you're really in some shit, like, how are we getting out of this shit? Like, legit getting out of this shit. Like, how are we going to do that? And to some level, you will have to get some law enforcement involved. And I don't believe that she may be saying, oh, I'm gonna call the police on you. But me as a parent, I may be like, okay, who can I call that I know? Like, I have a cousin who's a detective. I would call her and get her advice. Like, who should I call? Down low. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't put it out, but I need to know how to move in this scenario. So not calling the police, like, come get this, right? But like, what do I do? How can I help? Not call and not 911 police, like a detective, an investigator. Yeah. Somebody that can help me work through this. Think about the mom. She has a job. She has to take care of the household. She doesn't want to be caught. She can't be caught up in something like that. It seems like she's a single mom. So she could lose her job. She can lose her income. I don't know if there are other children. She can lose her house. Like, it gets so much bigger than just this one scenario. And let's go put this in a CD. She said that before. And it's like, it's not that simple. It sounds like she got a little financial literacy, though. So she kind of said she was giving out some different options. I like it. You'll in 10 years you'll appreciate this. So she has some little something about her plan. She was like, I pay everything. I take care of you. You know what I'm saying? So it sounds like she has some money. Jermaine, How do we teach our boys about earning money safely when so many examples around them are dangerous? Like everybody want to get money. Everybody looking to the ballers and the dope boys and the rappers and the influencers and everybody trying to figure out how to get money. Things I tell my son all the time, he always says, you're from a different generation. And I'll be like, I get that. Like y'all got tech, okay? Other than the fact that you have tech, nothing is that different. Human nature, human behavior is the same. In your teens, you ain't about nothing. In your 20s, you think you know it all. In your 30s, you start coming into yourself. And in your 40s, you live in life. You figured it out. In your 50s, you don't care what nobody got to say. That stuff does not change. Like looking around at your friends and your neighbors, we used to call it keeping up with the Joneses. It's the same. It's just worse for you guys because you have social media. So you're not just trying to keep up with your homeboy that you see on the street. You're trying to keep up with somebody over in Germany and somebody over in New York that you don't even know. So what do we do to kind of help our children or the youth learn about how to get money in a way that makes sense? So you were a young man and you went awry. What could somebody have done for you back then? Or what would you say for a mother or father to do with their child today?
All right. I got two answers. Let me go back and speak on the mother and the son. On what I would have did there, since now is going toward the PPP, which could have been fraud, or he could have created a business with a friend or associate or whatever he was doing. But since now it's coming to my address, I'm involved. So now we're partners in what you're doing now. You made me part of your scheme or whatever hustle you got going, right? So as a father, I wouldn't take it, but 50% belongs to me. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my attorney on the phone. I'm going to call our attorney. I'm going to get legal help. And then he's going to go through all the documents and paperwork of how you filed it and what addresses and what people names came to our house. And I'm going to have my attorney go through everything and straighten it out. Then look at on the back end side, what's going to be the fine? How much you're going to have to pay once you get caught up? And that's what it's going to pay. I'm to take the money, going to pay for the attorney, and what's going to be the fine, and how can we plea out to get the least minimum sentence or punishment that we can get? Because if not, you're pretty much on your own, because I'm not about to take the rap for you. You make a decision as a young adult. I'm about to help you get through this. But at the same time, how do we do now as we take this on to the next step? First of all, we're going to do financial literacy. Financial literacy is going to show you different ways to manage your money. Second thing, we're going to go on principles. You never want to receive or take money that you didn't earn. So because it's going to, the fastest it comes, it's going to be the fastest it leaves. So if you follow these morals and principles and you study it, this is going to happen. So then I'm going to bring an example of somebody who took the long route, a 5-year plan, to somebody that did a 5-week plan. The 5-week plan, they probably made thousands of dollars in that 5 weeks, 2 or 3 months, and looked good. Within 18 months of that year, they probably lost it all, lost their freedom. Now they have a criminal record. The guy in the 5-year plan doesn't have to watch their back, can have peace, their money is continually growing. So we're going to go through studies and we're going to get educated on it. And that's what's going to be my job, is to educate you on how to make your money grow, how to earn money, how to save, how to invest. Now, if you choose to do something else on your own, then you're going to be a grown man. Even though if you're 16, you decide you want to be 16, and then I'm going to give you an ultimatum. Okay, either I'm going to show you, we're going to go live in the boys' home, or we're going to send you to the military. So I'm going to have some outlets for you, but I'm going to try to help you and walk you through it step by step for you to be successful. Because I understand that people make mistakes, but how do we get over these mistakes? And so that's what I would do. And I would bring in people that's smarter than me, that's got more knowledge of what different fields than me, and also bring other voices before he want to get tired of hearing my voice, because then my voice is going to fall on deaf ears to my child. So that's what I would do, and I will continue to do it until that child become a better version of myself.
Awesome. I like that. Okay, so let's go to some stats real quick, and then we're going to have one more video. So a 2024 Gallup survey found that 72% of Black Americans believe that economic power will create more lasting change than political protest. According to the Department of Justice, nearly 60% of juvenile arrests involve boys between ages 15 and 17, with the majority linked to financial crimes or gang-related activity. Studies show that Black boys from single-parent homes are 4 times more likely to be exposed to gang culture before the age of 16. Dang. A 2024 Pew Research survey found that 47% of Black parents say their biggest fear is their son being targeted or caught up in criminal activity. Teen entrepreneurship among Black youth is growing, but many admit to earning income informally through hustles that put them at legal risk. Wow. We're going to take a quick commercial. We'll be right back and we'll keep this conversation going.
Are you a Black business owner looking to expand your reach? Well, has Fly Nubian Money got good news for you? We are building a Black business directory to connect you with customers who need your services. And here is the best part. It is absolutely free. Email us at info@realvirtual.net. Send us your business name. Tell us a little bit about what you do, what services you offer, your website address, and your contact information. That's it. Together, we are going to build and circulate the Black dollar. Get listed today and start connecting with people who are probably...
So I'm in my son's room, and tell me why I find this. Ow! Nah, this is ridiculous. Oh, you so... I'm out here struggling. I got the damn rent. I'm trying to figure out how I'm even eating next week. I ain't even get my nails done this week, and he got money like he in the goddamn cartel or something. This is just ridiculous. I'm out here struggling. First of all, where's he even getting this from? I know he sells snacks, but he ain't making all this off that. Who do you think he is? El Chapo? And he in my goddamn house under my roof? Oh, hell nah. I got me. Ugh. He better come explain before I take...
It's a beautiful day today in the neighborhood, and the children are playing and frolicking and laughing. But you, ma'am, you're worried about what your child is making? Meanwhile, he's sleeping on a mattress topper with no bed frame, and you're worried about getting your nails done. He appears to have his priorities in order, and you do not. Get out of his things. Leave his stuff alone. Talk to him respectfully, because he's the man of the house, clearly. And you need to get it together. That's all I got to say. Proceed.
So that in particular video, just to give some clarity on that one, come to find out that the son was saving, right? So we know where that money came from in that situation. The son was saving. The son had money. Nomalanga, do you think that a young person who is saving their money should share it with the home or share it with the mother or disclose it to the mother, or do they have the self-efficacy to save money and put it away for themselves?
The only part that I think is a yes is disclose it. Yes, of course. So then there aren't all these questions about it. And then a parent is also likely to have, not that particular parent, but a normal parent is likely to have the wisdom to know what to do with it, to grow the money, to invest it well, and to use it wisely. And yeah, he has an awful mom.
Oh, an awful mom. Dr. Alicia, what do you think? What are your thoughts on that last video? Again, clarity is he had the I think it was $5,600. Come to find out he was saving it. We don't know what he was saving it for. All we know is that he got it. Well, we don't even know if he got it legally, but we know he came from savings.
Okay. So now we have to see. Okay, this is the thing. Wow. This tells us maybe he did not feel safe enough to tell his mother about this money. Maybe he felt the need to hide the money from her because he felt as if she would take it and spend it on nails and some other things. And maybe it's a signal that he is like making his move. This piece of information changes everything because it's not about criminal behavior. It's about this miscommunication. And it makes me wonder, what is he afraid of? His mother's reaction tells us that he really can't trust her. Distrust can make us assume the worst. And even when our children when she finds out that her son even did it the correct way, that makes me wonder about that. God, she didn't trust. It was a misunderstanding. And back to our newest Fly Nubian King member, he talks about a teachable moment, so so the teachable moment for all of us, instead of calling the police, she could have, if she had a conversation, maybe some of these things could have come out, a perfect chance to talk about financial literacy, trust, and safety that's clearly lacking between the two of them. This is a way I think we can create homes in which children don't feel punished for being ambitious. He needs guidance and mentorship and a place where he feels affirmed. So plot twist with this one. Yeah.
Plot twist with that one. So who asked this? Naomi, she says, is the second video the same family? No, ma'am. It's a different family. Another mother has found money in her son's space. So this is another mother. So what we're seeing is children going out, making money, illegal or not, but making money and keeping it and not hiding it, keeping it safe, shall we say. Shalaye, being that you are in a financial space, right? Let's say you come across your daughter's room and she has $5,600 put in a shoebox that she has not disclosed to you, and you do find out that it is savings. What do you do?
Oh my God. So first of all, if I come into my daughter's room and she has a shoebox and there's $1,500 in it, and
no, not $1,500, $5,600.
56, even if there was 15, but $5,600 in it, and she tells me she got that through selling snacks, girl, okay? Because she's gonna be a CEO, and I'm going to get people around her who can nurture that gift of gab, that gift of entrepreneurship and enterprise in her, and be like, girl, kudos. Now, you don't have to keep that from mama. Tell mama that you have it so I can help you grow it. I would be so excited to find this money in my daughter's room. That's me. I would be so excited, as long as it was gotten legally.
I love it. As long as it was gotten legally.
Yeah.
Jermaine, how much responsibility do you think that parents have? How much responsibility do parents carry when their children go down the wrong path, right? And sometimes you don't even know what the path is, right? So as a parent, you come into your child's room, you find money, whether it's like Shalaye said, $1,500, $5,600, $200,000, you find it. And I'm thinking about myself. If I come into my son's room and I find some money, I am probably going to go worst case scenarios first. I'm gonna be like, oh my God, where did this money come from? But then I'm going to fall back on, what did I miss? What didn't I see? What could I have done? What could I have done something differently? When you think about your past, or you think about young people that you see and know, could a parent have done something differently? Could do you think that your mother or father could have done something differently to help you not have gone down a path, or to have made some of the choices and decisions that you made?
I think as a father, where a father has, as far as over a male, the father has a heavy influence, right? But when I was growing up, I think if they would have listened to me and what my interests were, and you know how as a kid you have dreams, and sometimes it doesn't make sense at the moment, but you can put all that energy into those dreams in that time, then, and also sacrificing, like that mother, was more concerned about the nails. Like a brand new pair of Jordans or Pumas back in my day meant a lot. So I got to start making my own money because I wanted Pumas and Fila sweatsuits, and my mother didn't want to buy it for me. So I said, I'm going to go buy it myself. So just that miscommunication and me not being patient enough, or her not explaining to me, like, okay, wait until the next payday, then we're not going to get the whole sweatsuit. We might get just the top then we get the bottom part, then we get the shoes on the next pay, but just what you have to do to earn it, right? Would have made me say, okay, my mom trusts me, she believed me, and I believe my mom, I'm going to wait it out and follow her lead. So I just think that just the open communication and just going above and beyond sometimes, but making them earn it and earning trust, and say, if you're able to do Like a lot of times it's just grades or just doing chores, or let's say on the weekend, back in the day went to go deliver newspapers or go pick up the golf balls. Now, what I tell my kids these days is now find a way to create another stream of income. So now you have social media. So now I can help you. So whatever your product is, whatever your gift is, I can be there behind you and invest in that to help you to make other sources of income besides having a job. So I just think it's just communication and having trust. And if my child did do it, like my youngest daughter, when she was 19, I think she was a freshman in college, but she was out the house in college. And I went to go see her savings account, right? She showed me her account and she had like $20,000 saved. And I was like, wow. And it just reminded me of me, like, because I give her like the Automatic Millionaire, these books, this financial literacy. And I was only giving her like $1,500 a month. So she did a good job saving. She had her NIL. And then she ate at, she started cooking. And so she was able to manage the money. But this is even without the NIL, you can say is a hustle. It's another stream of income. But she was able to reserve and build that money. And in my mind, I probably thought she only had like $3,500. But she was able to understand from my financial literacy in the way of I was culture and seeing the way I was moving with money. And she was able to save that amount of money at 19. So I'm like, yeah, you're on your way to be wealthy. And so I just think that our communication as parents and having conversations about funds, finances, money, and what to do with it once you get it is very important. And not to be in a lack. Like, don't speak of that we're in a lack. Even if you're in a tight situation, speak abundance, and I believe abundance will come into that household.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. That was great commentary. We're going to go to our last video, and then we're going to come back into our final thoughts.
You only 16. You only 16. You do not need this. No, the hell you don't. Where did you get this from? Where did you get this money from?
I've been outside, bro, making shit shake.
Making shit shake.
Oh, you fucking goofy. You gonna try to take my shit, but you don't try to take my shit when he bring it in here. I need that.
You're not getting this back. You're not getting this back because you just be saying shit. You just be making shit up and saying shit. Because what you mean you making shit shake? What do you be going outside to do to make this type of money? What did you go outside to do to make that money? Don't touch that money. I'm not playing with you, little boy. Or you can get out.
You need to go get you a job.
You take that money, you can get out. I'm not depending on you. I'm not depending on you. You a little ass boy. I don't feel depend on you. I'm just saying, I'm trying to save you. I'm trying to save you because you don't need this in your life. Money brings problems. You don't need that much money. You're not old enough for that. No.
You always try to take because you lazy and don't want to get up. Why you don't want to get up and go?
You are only 16. Go your ass to school. That's why you flunking all your classes because you too busy trying to make shit shake. This is why you flunking all your classes. Get out my room.
God, there's so much to break down these videos. That's not why he's flunking his classes, boo. There's a bigger reason as to why that young man is flunking his classes. If he is, Anonymous said this is fake. We had that conversation, Anonymous. Like, are these skits? Is this real? Is this really happening across the United States? Moms is fussing with their sons over money that they're finding. Like, is this real or is this fake? Right? So we don't know, but if it's a trend, it's a sad trend. If people are faking it, it's a sad fake. But if it's real, it's still sad, right? In our closing thoughts, this is my final thought question for you guys. Let's say these are not skits. Let's say that this is real. Let's say that young men really are young people, right? Because it could be young boys, it could be young girls. Let's say young people are really feeling like they have to get out here in these streets and make this money, right? However they do it, good, bad, or indifferent. Let's say they do it honestly. It doesn't matter how they're getting it. They're getting it and they're hiding it. At the end of the day, they're making money that they feel like they can't disclose or talk about or share. Because the one kid got it legally, literally had a job and a savings and put his money in a shoebox and hid it. So it doesn't matter if it does matter if you're getting it legally or illegally. It does. But there's a bigger issue here that young people feel like they have to go out and take care of themselves, support themselves, and do it on their own without disclosing it, right? That's to me, is the bigger issue, right? So what conversations about money need to happen early in the home? That's going to be our final thought question. And I believe if we better understood and knew some of that, kind of like what Jermaine was saying a minute ago, if my mom would have said, hey, let's do a little bit of this, let's do a little bit of that, layaway, we're going to get to it. I can't do it now, but I'm going to do it here. Let's talk about savings. Let's talk about getting a job. Like, what conversations need to happen in the home early on to help our children be better prepared and understand money? Shalaye, I'll start with you, with your two beautiful girls. Are you doing something now, or is there something that you think you might be thinking to do?
Yeah, so this is a great question to end on. And we're just now getting there with my 8-year-old. She started making paper fans in school, and she said she's going to sell them for 10 cents to her friends. So her and two friends started a business. So she's like, Mama, I need you to invest in my business. And I think it just starts with simple things like that. I don't think it's some big mountainous task that you need to start with, but it's just about starting to open up that trust and open up that conversation about, okay, you want to make money. What are the ways that you can make money? We tell her she can create a product. She can go work for someone. She can find out what someone needs and then fill that void. We've been having these conversations with her. I know that as soon as I turned 14 and I was able to get my working permit and work, I did that because I always wanted to help in the house. And I wanted to buy my own school clothes, but I used to sell cherry blossoms off of our tree in the front yard for a couple of dollars a bunch to people walking by. I've always just been like that. I think for some children, they're going to have an innate ability to do it, or they're going to gravitate to that. How can I make money? Because I want certain things. And then I think for other children, or for all children, we just need to start having the conversations, because that's going to prep their minds to think along those lines. And something that stood out to me about the Black boys between 15 and 17, and they're getting in trouble for either financial crimes or gang-related stuff. To me, that just speaks to a lack of money, which is a problem, and a lack of connection, which is a problem. So I think that that's like a learning, teachable moment for all of us. I am Shalaye Camillo with Vital Source Realty in Boston, Massachusetts, and I can help you buy or sell real estate anywhere in the United States and Canada. So reach out to me. I would love to help you. You can visit my website at vitalsourcerealty.com and follow me on Instagram at Shalaye Camillo.
Great. Thank you so much, Shalaye. Nomalanga, what about you? What are your thoughts? What conversations about money need to happen early in the home?
I think we have to build the actual culture in our home of understanding that children can follow their dreams or their passions or their interests. I have the same idea about homeschooling. It's about following the child's interest and creating lessons around what they're actually interested in so that they're more engaged in what you're teaching them. I remember our kids when they were little, this was over 10 years ago, I think they were 6 and 8 or something like that. They're now 19 and almost 17. They actually had a YouTube channel and they were learning how to code. And the reason why I did that is because at the time I had an online talk show and they loved that I have it and they wanted to do something similar. And then the second thing was they were always on video games. And I was like, rather than just playing video games that other people made, why don't you take an interest in the background of how these are created? And they actually, at that young age, were able to create cartoons and stuff. In this day and age, coding and technology are so valuable. So that's what I think we can do. You can always follow. I remember when I was in graduate school, I'm going to age myself, but over 20 years ago, there was this concept that was introduced called multiple intelligences. And I think there was 10 or 11 of them. And everybody has a level of brilliance in them that if you find it and tap into it, you can follow it and you can really be successful. So I've always liked that as well. So at the end of the day, it requires a parent to actually be engaged and interested and involved in building that culture in the home, and then, teaching their children to follow along those same tracks. My name is Nomalanga. You can find me. I'm always on Facebook. Nomalanga Mhlawuli Moses. I've changed to Nomalanga Gaborone. You can find me on Instagram at Noma Moses. And I also want to reach out quickly and just talk about our charity that I started here in Botswana. It's called Pads for Our Girls. You can go to padsforourgirls.com if you feel inclined to support. What we do is we help with young girls who can't go to school because they experience period poverty. So it's padsforourgirls.com. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, Jermaine, what are your thoughts? I have a little question. What conversation about money needs to happen early in the home?
I was I believe early in the home as just pretty much that our kids know that they're gifted, they're going to be having abundance. There's no lack, but also put a structure and a formula together to how to get to wealth. And sometimes wealth or financial freedom might just be an extra $200 a month, $500 a month. What is your number? How do we get there? And figure out a formula and teach them to be able to get to whatever that goal is for them to get. And it's just so many different resources, different ways to get there. And it's just, and each kid has different talents. So if we just focus on what their talents are and bring out the best in them, we can be able to achieve those goals. And then for the young man that the young guy who had the mother that was looked like she was in poverty and lacking and worrying about getting her nails done or what she's going to eat, he was in a situation where it's almost like he had to fight things. So he had to go earn his own money by working or whatever that is. And I take my hat off to him for saving his own money. And now it just need now for us to go in there and guide them. And what I'm doing now, also in the inner city, I go to the elementaries and junior high and I do a basic financial literacy. And I'm trying to build like a bigger team to have other guys go out there and teach that. So if they can't get it in their home, they're not getting in the churches and not getting in the community, that we can bring it to the inner city schools and start with the basics there.
Awesome. Where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me. I really don't have a big presence on social media yet. I haven't really started doing that, but I do have one. I'm on Facebook at Malachi Fletcher, and I was doing motivational speaking, and I was doing like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock service. So Malachi comes from the Bible. So I always like presented. I wanted to be like one of the great speakers and a great priest that they didn't speak too much about, because he came for a short period of time and nobody knows what happened to him. And so I ended up coming with the name Malachi. But Malachi Fletcher's on Facebook. You can reach out to me there. But I would definitely start building more of a social media presence.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Dr. Alicia, I saved you specifically for last. What conversations about money need to happen early in the home? And I want you to kind of frame it around, in each one of these videos, we can see that there's some level of poverty that's happening, right? The last two, well, I don't know what's going on that very last one, but that second one, when you're in poverty, you don't trust the person who's supposed to be there to take care of you. You have to make your own money and hide it. What, as a young person, you don't see money being used properly. So then how do you disclose the money, right? If you think that your mom's going to use it or spend it on her nails, the last one was like, you don't have a job. Like, I'm out here making money. I got to save this money. I can't, like, how do you have a conversation when you yourself don't have financial literacy? And so that's kind of how I want you to come at this. Like, we're watching these videos and we can obviously see that these young people are struggling. What can parents do, or maybe you speak to the young person, what can young people do to better trust or have better dynamics to navigate this?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what everybody has said today. And I think I want to speak to the parents more so, because what information are you giving your children about your financial woes? First of all, children need to be children. There's not a child who needs to sit and worry about, are the bills being paid? Because that is what adults do in the house. So even if you're struggling through something financially as a parent, that is not your job to lay that on the feet of children. And so many times households are set up in a way where children are being parentified, placing a child, instead of doing children things, like Nomalanga talked about, following your passion and encouraging your passion. It is not your job to lay adult-like problems onto a child. They need to be able to develop in and of themselves. So when a child takes on this place of a caretaker, physically, emotionally, and financially, for their parent in a family system, they're being parentified. And that means that they're not being able to develop appropriately as a child. So when they get older, sometimes they learn to put the needs and wants of other people ahead of their own. sometimes they have a sense of unworthiness because they were never allowed and given the space to grow and develop. So it stunts their growth and development. And they have to spend a lot of time trying to sort that out in therapy, by the way. So just think about that. You know, when you speak to your children, make it about them. What's going on with them in their life? What are they dealing with? And financial issues that you have, you save that for adults. You know, you don't lay that on the feet of a child. Children should be worried about going to school, doing the homework, following their passion, like Nomalanga said, or even being in entrepreneurship and learning all these lessons and not being worried about, oh, I got to go out and make money instead of going to school so that I can pay the bills. And being responsible for things like that. So let's let children be children. Let's not give them adult responsibilities because it truly messes them up psychologically and they learn lessons that keeps them in therapy for a long time. We could do a whole episode on the parentified child, but we won't. Y'all follow me on Instagram, Coaching with Dr. Alicia. And there's my website, Coaching with Dr. Alicia.
I love it. Okay. So, I'm going to kind of sort of address what Anonymous said. When does the child stop being a child? So I agree with what everyone has said on here today. I think that we do not bring the children into parental things, but we do talk to them about money and give them some responsibilities, right? One of the things that my son gets on me about is because I'm not going to say I always had money, but we've lived well. So when he was like 14, 15, 16, 14, 15, and he went to get a job, I was like, why? You don't need a job. Like, I make enough money. You don't need a job. I do good. Like, just tell me what you need. I'll take care of it. Well, fast forward 16, 17, he finally got his first job, but he missed out on that work ethic of 14, 16, 17. So now we be fighting like, dude, you got to be on time for work. You got to do this, that, and the other at 25, because he didn't get those characteristic types of things. He liked money. And he likes to make money. He has his business, but the job thing just is ugh. So I understand what you're saying, Anonymous. We do have to protect them from parentizing, but also give them the tools necessary to be able to be independent and make money and understand money and budget and do those types of things, right? So this question for me would be, I think kind of what Jermaine and Shalaye was talking about bringing them into having financial literacy conversations. That's what it is. Having the financial literacy conversations with them early, not necessarily like what Dr. Alicia was saying. They don't got to know about your bills. They don't got to be paying your bills, right? My first bill was my pager bill. It was like $17. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even like, I was happy to just pay my little $17 pager bill, you know? They have to have something that teach them responsibility, but they can't be worried about paying to get mom's nails done and paying for mom's car note. That's crazy. That's not their responsibility. But they should know how to pay their own car note. They should know how to pay their own cell phone bill, right? And so this is a really, really good conversation. One that I think is necessary, and a lot of households and families are probably dealing with. When do the kids work? When do they contribute to the house? Because if you go to college and you come home, you paying rent. That's now we having real adult conversations, right? So there's just so much out there around these different topics and conversation. And so every mother you guys already know me. I'm Dr. LaNee Javet. You can find me at I am Dr. LaNee Javet. Every mother wants to protect her child, but fear can make us react before we think. When we call the police on our sons, we are not just calling for help. We might be handing them over to a system that was never built to protect them. This is about more than one mother and her son. It is about the pressure our boys feel to be providers before they are prepared, and the need for parents to lead with love and not panic. So maybe the question is not what we do or what we would do if we found the money. Maybe it is what we can do now to make sure our sons never feel they have to earn it that way. That's our time for today. Thank you to our panel, our royal court of queens and king. Thank you to you in the chat. Thank you for hanging out with us, especially like our regulars, Black Lexicon, Deborah Will Win, Anonymous, Dennis Spraggins, all of you guys that show up every day. We love you. We appreciate you. Go out, have a great Tuesday. Continue to be blessed. Stay Black and be one. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Bye, everybody.
All the stuff I do for you as a mother. Literally, I take care of you, I feed you, I cook, I do all that stuff. And all I did, I asked you for your birthday money so that I can pay the light bill. You don't want to give me the birthday money. So I am taking the PS5 back so I can get the money so the bill can be paid.
Well, how you gonna ask for my birthday money that I got on my birthday to pay the light bill? And why you trying to take my PS5 away?
Well, you can't play the PS5 anyway if there ain't gonna be no damn lights in our house.
You shouldn't have been going out so much. You would have had the money. What happened to the income taxes?
Turner, first of all, I'm an adult. Stay out my business. When I come to you as a mother and I'm telling you there's an issue where I need help, you help.
Going out so much. I'm tired of you going out. You need to spend time with us, and you need to spend money on your bills.
LaNee, I'm not even talking to you. So you stay in a child's place.
Now you said stay in a child's place, but you asking my brother to pay your bills. And just like Lay said, you need to start spending money on us and stop going spending money on yourself and your little boyfriend.
Boy, y'all finna